This is one of the biggest questions that we get at the study session. So I'm banging my desk and rocking my camera back and forth. Here's one of the biggest questions we get. Who should I cite in terms of the at least 4 citations that you want to have per question answer? Who should I cite? Well, hold on. Immediately following this video clip of me, that'll be coming up. Hold on. Right. This is who you should cite. Ready? Here it is.
There's antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, and hydrogen, and oxygen, and nitrogen, and rhenium, and nickel, neodymium, neptunium, germanium, and iron, americium, ruthenium.
My bad. I think those are the elements on the periodic table. Hold on, I pressed the wrong button. This is who you should cite. Are you ready? Okay, hold on. And
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still.
No. Again, my bad. Mea culpa. I think those are the names of the countries as shared with us by the Animaniacs. Okay, in all seriousness, this is who you should cite. Pay close attention, okay? Okay, now. Did you enjoy that? I think by now you can tell I'm a mean and naughty professor and advisor. Look, who should you cite? You need to cite who resonates with you. All those pictures I showed are some people that you've probably read in your classes. And if you're like, oh my, and I made them super fast, so it'd be hard to tell. If you haven't read those people or know who those people are, that's okay. You need to, at our live session, we're going to list and talk about people that we collectively in the room at that moment are familiar with, okay? But this needs to be constructed within your study groups that you form, after you attend one of the MA study sessions, or just in your own head. There are no set groupings of people that you have to bring up. But we do expect you, and I'm not going to answer it here or play another joke on you, you are expected to know the key people in curriculum, in instruction, which we call pedagogy, must be on these days, in multicultural education, in critical pedagogy, in all of our program areas that are covered in the C&I core courses that have been gone over elsewhere. So you need to come up with those people, but those that resonate with you and speak to you. But there are some folks that, a few in each area that you should know, But I'm not even going to say them here. So you need to do that at one of the study sessions, all of us collectively, or get in a study group and come up with some ideas yourself. If you're in question, email me. But as you can tell from my silliness, I'm not apt to give a very direct answer because that's your job. But practice with others, okay? And that's how we handle who you should cite. But also cite relevant people, if you're talking about critical pedagogy, you bring up Howard Gardner. Well, he wrote on multiple intelligences, not on critical pedagogy. Or if you're talking about behaviorism, you're not going to cite Vygotsky, who's, a constructivist, right? Or if you're talking about conservative approaches to education, you're not going to cite Freire, who's a critical pedagogist. You know what I mean? So it's got to be relevant. All right. So chat about it with your study groups, with your colleagues, and go from there. Okay. How about, do we have any tips for you as to how to craft your answers on the MA exam? Well, in fact, we do. And it depends how you operate as a test taker, and how your brain and what works and what your organizational style is. But things that have shown to be helpful for people in terms of writing their answers. Well, first of all, in terms of being successful, people that come to this study session, or watch these videos, the process gets demystified a little bit for them, and they've commented to us. Anecdotally, not scientifically, that it's been helpful. But here's some tips for when you answer your questions. Map out your essay answers. Make a little outline. You'll be provided with blank paper at the time of the exam, and you can take notes on there and write down people you might want to cite and ideas and kind of an outline. If you don't get to complete your answer, we include all of those, including your notes, in the folder that we take to the grading room, grading process. So we look at that. Take notes. Write down theorists, philosophers, researchers that you intend to cite. Plan your time carefully. Leave time to revise. You know, the spell checker and grammar checker are built in. I mean, we're more concerned with content over style or format. But if you have time at the end, you know, run the spell checker, edit through it. And this is a very important part. Try to fully answer each question. Sometimes people get stopped up on that, in that they don't get to each part of the answer. So, additionally, feel free to draw on your own professional experiences as a teacher or as an educator. So answer the question, but you can say, for example, I'm going to draw on my own experiences as a 4th grade bilingual teacher, or as a middle school psychologist, or whatever it might be. So draw on your own experiences while still attempting to answer the question. We'd like to hear your voice and your passion and your interest in your answers. Also, don't feel you have to give us answers that you think we want to hear. Certainly in this exam, we want to know that you know the basics from curriculum and instruction, as I've outlined elsewhere in these videos. You know, the content of your core courses. But you don't have to stake a philosophical or ideological position that you think we might agree with. After years of reading these and being professors, it's really easy to tell when someone is posing or faking. Don't do that. Let your own voice come out, but still show us that you know the content. That's important. Okay. Well, here's a question. How are the exams graded? You'll see on the MA exam website the rubric that we use to grade the exam. It's nothing secret, so take a look at that and go over it. And we follow that pretty well. We also are pretty good at triangulation and having common approaches to grading. And let me read and talk about what I have, the answers I've written here. Here's how it works. Only your student identification numbers on the exam responses, not your social, not your name. Each of your answers is read twice. I like to use the digits. Is used twice by CNI faculty. If you have a program or focus area outside of CNI, the related question is read at least once by faculty from that area, if it's not CNI. If your program area or focus is within CNI, you know, beyond curriculum and instruction, like literacy, language, and culture, it's read by CNI faculty. Faculty grade the question using the rubric sheet, so please take a look at that on the website. In our live session, our study session, we'll go over that rubric as well. If there is a 10-point difference, a 10-point or greater difference in the scores of 2 other reviewers, then that answer is read one more time by another reviewer. And then the extreme score is thrown out. Whether it's an unusually high or unusually low score, that's thrown out. So that's how the exams are graded. Here's some more on that. There's a possibility of 36 points on the rubric for each question, for the answer to each question. If you fail to attempt one of the questions, you will receive a 0 score for that answer. A passing score is 22.5 points. Now we round up, you know, we don't round down, we round up. We live where it is, or we round up. But if you're off of 22.5 and you don't get it, you're off. So you need to hit that. You need to hit that level, and that score is determined by an average of each score on each of your essay answers. This comes up as a question, and I'll answer it. And by my answering it, you'll see what the question was. It is statistically possible to fail one question, and still pass the exam, but you need to do very, very well on the other two questions. Please stay tuned for the next segment of this video series in taking the MA Written Comprehensive Exam at New Mexico State University. Thanks.